Hello and welcome in Two Peas in a Pod listeners. We're recording this on May 2nd, the afternoon after we've seen all the game ones of round two. But today we're going to be recapping round one, and maybe we'll touch a little bit on the matchups in round two. But first, Hot Carl.
Hot Carl MC. Yo, EA Sports. It's like wow. Yeah. I'm about to change with this one.
Alrighty. So Jack, now that you're done finals, we'll a pod's a whole life now.
Yep, pretty much.
How'd they go? Are they good? I mean, you're passing.
Good enough.
Yeah, good enough, exactly. So sorry for our hiatus again, but we promise school is done for both of us now. NBA playoffs is our life.
Yeah,
I'd say so.
I mean, fair enough.
So now that the pleasantries are out of the way, I think we should just hop right in. Let's Eastern Conference round one. Toronto, Washington, 6 games.
I was pretty strong in my belief that I thought it was going 7. I think it should have. I told a lot of people it was going to.
No.
But the Raps struggle with the Wizards, and the Wizards are the best player in that series. They got John Wall.
Yeah, John Wall is washed. I've said it. I've been on this train. Trade John Wall. Blow it up.
I still think he's good. I like John Wall.
I think they stole those 2 games. I don't think they should have won either. Like they obviously won those games at their home court, but I don't think they... Going into this matchup, I was definitely not thinking 6.
Yeah, but
And after watching the first 2 games, I even more wasn't thinking 6.
I think a lot of the difference was the bench. Washington doesn't have a bench. So
Ty Lawson came over from China, was playing big minutes.
Yeah, that was just dumb.
I know, they're so dysfunctional.
Like, when Washington's starting 5 is rolling, like, at home, they're not going to lose.
Yeah, they got a good...
They don't lose at home when they get rolling. Once they get
They
going,
did in Game 6, though.
Yeah, I know, but they were rolling.
yeah.
Like,
I don't know. Washington, to me...
And Otto Porter didn't play. That's big.
Yeah, I like Otto. I don't like him with max money attached to his name.
Yeah, I just mean like starting 5 when like if you're missing him in Game 6, I'm gonna use Otto as an excuse for Game 6.
Yeah, I don't know. Like my thing with Washington is like there's not a more dysfunctional, at least there's not a more dysfunctional playoff team in the league. They just can never get anything together. Like the fact that Ty Lawson literally 2 months ago was playing in China. Scotty Brooks brings him over and then plays him 31 minutes in a crucial game. Like,
I mean, he played good in that series.
I know, but after that game, Ty Lawson was even like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm just kind of... I wasn't expecting to play. Like, that system... I think Brooks is in the hot seat. I think he's on the way out.
Yeah, I agree.
I think John Wall or Bradley Beal, depending on which direction they're going to go, if they can find a suitor, I think they're going to try and move one of them because...
I think you get more... I think you got to keep Beal because I think, like, Beal showed a lot when Wall was, like, out and injured this year.
It was his team,
right? Really good. And I think trade value, you're going to get more for John Wall.
I disagree on that.
Somebody will give you a lot. No, I disagree with you then because I think somebody will give a boatload for John Wall.
I'd give up more
There's somebody in the league that would.
I would give up more for Bradley Beal.
I know. I agree with you that he's a better player, and I like Bradley Beal more. But I think trade value, somebody will.
It's the money. It's all about the money. John Wall's contract right now, he's going to be 34 and making $40+ million.
Yeah.
At the end of his contract. That is ridiculous to think about. And the history of point guards making it past the age of 32 and being anything after 32 is rarefied air completely. Well, so for a guy that relies on athleticism, that has had 4 knee surgeries, that is on that max deal, that's going to be on that max deal for the next 3 years, that is a terrifying notion for me as a GM in the league. Like, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
People, like, GMs in the NBA aren't always making economic decisions. Melo's going to make $28 million next year, so I don't want to hear anything.
Okay, no, we're going to touch on that later. Here's a good teaser if you're thinking about leaving. Don't leave, because Dylan Foster here is going to give you the cheat sheet on how to make Melo decline his player option. That's coming up later in the show. But back to John Wall.
I just don't think the money's a factor. It's
a factor, though.
There's some dumb people in high-powered positions.
But it's not baseball, right? Like, you have a hard cap.
Incompetent.
You have a cap, right? Like, you can't... I don't know. And I think he will get moved. I think you're right. Like, I think John Wall, for some reason, because of his name, has some type of thing to him.
He's got big name appeal.
I don't know why. I think he's the worst elite point guard in the league, if that makes sense. Not that he's like... I'm not saying he's a bum. I'm just saying, when it comes to the best point guards in the league, he is the worst of them. Yeah. And he's making more money than any of them right now, except for Steph Curry.
I think you're getting more value for a starting point guard than you are for Bradley Beal.
No, wings are huge in this league. It's all about wings now. No, I disagree.
I disagree.
Bradley Beal is more important to any team in the league than John Wall.
John Wall's looked at as an elite point guard in the league. Like, most people probably top 8. I disagree there. I think that
That's not very deep, though.
Wall. They're going to move Wall, and they're going to get more for him.
I know, but you want to talk, like, top 8 point guards. Bradley Beal is probably a top 5 shooting guard.
In the East.
No, what? Bradley Beal's a top 5 shooting guard. If you can name me 5 shooting guards, including James Harden, better than Bradley Beal.
Okay, you kind of put me on the spot here, but
like James
I feel
Harden,
like there's got to be 5. Yeah.
James Harden, Klay Thompson, DeMar DeRozan. Paul George, if you want to count him as a shooting guard, but not really. So Jimmy Butler, maybe.
I'd put Jimmy ahead of him.
So that's 4.
That's
4.
I don't think he's top 5.
Who's the 5th one?
Well, if you put PG in there, he's better.
PG's played the 3 all year, and he's going to continue playing the 3.
Are we counting Oladipo as a point guard?
Yeah, Oladipo ran the point.
Collison did.
No, he didn't. Collison played the shooting guard. Collison sat in the corner.
I mean, like, when they showed the starting lineups, Collison was listed as the point guard.
Here's another thing about Darren Collison. That guy led the league in 3-point percentage this year. He couldn't hit a shot in that series, and his form is all over the place. We'll talk about that next, but that's absurd to me.
Like, I don't think we were surprised to see Toronto move on. Like,
no, we both had Toronto moving
the
on.
Game 1 curse, so I think that's a good time to transition into that Cleveland-Indiana series.
That is a good time. Darren Collison, they kept talking about him leading the league in 3-point percentage. I wasn't scared of him at all. He shot a wide open corner 3 late in Game 7, and I was afraid for my life, and it wasn't even close.
Yeah, he didn't really seem like his head was in it. Like, he just wasn't making, like, decisions, like, wholeheartedly. It was just
because Oladipo was running the point.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know. No, but like when Collison had the ball though, it was just complacent.
I don't know. I think the fact that we are talking about Darren Collison in a series that featured LeBron James and Victor Oladipo is a little suspect in its own right, but
hey, if you lead the league in 3-point,
exactly,
you're doing something right.
Yeah, but that series went 7.
Indiana's a better team.
Yeah, top to bottom without a doubt.
But like anybody Cleveland's going to play in the playoffs is a better, more functional team.
Besides Washington, I would say. But anyways, that's not really relevant. But yeah, Cleveland, I mean, as much as I don't want to get into it right now, LeBron James, I've never seen a 7-game performance like that.
Yeah, he definitely carried him. It's kind of scary to think he had to do that much. Didn't
just carry them. Like, the game 5 when they just needed a win, and he came out, scored the first 16 points for either team.
Yeah,
I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
it's mind-boggling how much better he is than anybody else in the league. Still, at age 33, 15 years into his career.
Yeah.
It's unheard of. And the fact that we want to compare people, there's no comparison here. The dude is on top 15 years in.
Yeah. He didn't really have any help in that series either.
None. He had no no player.
Everybody wants to talk about like Tristan Thompson in Game 7.
No player on his team
who was actually good. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah, but he played 30 minutes all series. No player.
30 good minutes.
No player on the Cleveland. No, the two of them were garbage minutes in Game 1.
28 good minutes.
28 good minutes. But I mean, no player in that series other than LeBron James that played on the Cleveland Cavaliers had more than 20 points.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah. And I want to touch on Indiana here for a sec. Oladipo was like one game, this guy was just going out of his mind, and the next game he just kind of disappeared. Like, it was just inconsistent. Like, one game he'd show up, the next he kind of wasn't there.
And you can see that. You can see that with guys, and that's the difference that I always talk about. The difference between all-star players and superstar players is exactly that. Oladipo is verging on being a superstar, I think, and he showed flashes of that for sure in this series.
Do you think that's the difference?
Consistency, yeah. Consistency is the only difference.
You mean stat-wise, not like you factoring in winning?
I mean bringing it every night. No, I think.
So you would include Westbrook then, superstar.
Westbrook's a superstar. Westbrook's a stud, bro.
I thought you meant just like kind of shrinking in the moment.
No. I mean that consistency of bringing it every single night.
Yeah, like you know what you're gonna get. Like if shots aren't gonna fall, you're gonna find ways to help your team win, kind of thing.
Like, you can count on them having a game.
Yeah.
Always, and if they don't, it's detrimental, kind of thing. Where with Oladipo, he wasn't having those games, and Indiana was still in it, right? Oladipo was there and not there sometimes, but Indiana was always right at Cleveland's throat constantly.
Yeah.
That's the leap from all-star to superstar, is that consistency.
Yeah, I see what you mean there.
And when we talk about banking on guys for a game, like...
You can't bank on anybody else in the league other than LeBron, I don't think.
I think you can to an extent, but LeBron pushes the envelope to such a whole nother level where, like, if it's an elimination game, you can count on 35 plus, 10 and 7 plus.
Yeah, but
like, you just can.
Yeah, I agree with you, but
it's insane.
Me personally, I don't think there's anybody else in the league that I could 100% say I could choose other than LeBron if that was the case.
And that's what I think separates him from everybody else. But I mean, I could bet that Kevin Durant is going to score 20 on any given night, or that Steph, if healthy, is going to score 20 on any given night.
Yeah,
or that DeRozan's going to put up 25 or whatever.
Yeah.
Guys like those superstars that we're talking about have the consistency that they'll meet their averages probably.
Yeah, but it's on a particular night when it's.
But with
it's the biggest
LeBron,
moment.
you just know if it's do or die, he's coming.
Yeah.
And that's people want to talk about him not being a killer or him not having that drive that Kobe had or that killer instinct that MJ had, but like I don't know what else you want from a guy averaging 34, 10 and 7.
I mean, this might be a little off topic, but I think he could have tried to work things out with Kyrie. We'll get into that another time.
My God,
That's the one bad thing I have to say about him, as far like just pretty much ever, I guess.
Kyrie wanted to be the alpha.
I know, but
that's all it is.
I think LeBron is gonna look back and think, man, there had to be a way to work that out.
I don't know. I think after next year when he's playing in Miami with Kawhi, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah. Who is Kawhi? Anyways.
So yeah. Cleveland in 7, I think, took longer than everybody expected. Indiana definitely showed some grit. And moving forward here, with Indiana, I think they're going to have to decide between Miles Turner and Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah, I heard that too. I don't
think it's a hurt thing. I just feel that way. Like, I don't think Sabonis... showed enough in this series that I don't think he wants to get back up.
Like that kind of thing. I don't know what they're going to do. Like, Sabonis... He missed so many open jumpers in that series. Like, it was just...
That'll develop. He's 23 years old.
So frustrating, but yeah.
I think they should move off to Turner. I think they can get more bang.
They'll get more for Turner.
Exactly. And I think Sabonis is a gritty guy. You just want on your team in a playoff series.
I wanted the Raptors to get Sabonis. Just
in that draft. I wanted them to get Thon in that draft.
When they took Pirtle.
Hey, Pirtle's been great.
That's a different story.
Pirtle's been great.
He's a fouler and he misses free throws and lately he's just been...
What? Come on, Pirtle's...
Yeah, I don't know.
He's part of that bench mob you guys all talk about all the time.
Yeah. I'm just frustrated with Pirtle right now because like him and Valanciunas can't make a layup after last night. Anyways.
So we both had Cleveland moving on. I had them in 3, not 7.
Yeah.
But a win's a win.
Yeah, it was an entertaining series.
So here was a big series... was the only series in the East that we wavered on in the first round was Philly-Miami. Your guy, JJ, played good, led them in scoring. I think I heard that.
JJ Redick led the Sixers in scoring in the first round.
Congratulations. Who else is scoring on that team? Joel Embiid didn't play the
Who
first
cares?
2 games.
You got JJ Redick going off. Honestly, this series made my life a hell of a lot better because I was just waiting to record this pod just so I could rave about my guy, JJ.
He had a good series. Ben Simmons showed what all the hype's about, right?
He's ridiculous.
And I think he stepped it up to another level.
He's after this round, he's probably my favorite player to watch.
Yeah, see that stuff that everyone's talking about, I think they're going to have a little bit of a shell shock once they get into later rounds. Like I said, going into the playoffs, Miami just didn't have any talent. And I know I picked them to beat Philly and Boston because I didn't think Philly was going to show up, and Boston's just so mangled that I wasn't sure. But I wanted, when Cleveland, the seeding was starting to shake out, I wanted them to draw Miami in the first round. Just because there's really no guys in that team. And your guy that you're paying max money to didn't show up. Whiteside looked like a bum, like a total bum.
Yeah.
He was not there. And that's not taking anything away from the Sixers. Their shooters shot. Ben Simmons got him open. Joel Embiid came back with his mask and got Philly all hyped, and it was great. It was cool to watch, but I think Miami was the weakest roster in the playoffs.
Yeah, Miami was my sleeper coming in. I liked Miami. It was one of those things. It's easy to chalk it up. Bad matchup. Just a bad matchup.
Well, it's not. I don't know if it's a matchup as much as it's just like
I think Miami's a good enough team to make the second round.
They need a star. They need a Kawhi.
I would have loved to see them play Boston first round.
Yeah, you just would have had your two.
Same sort of thing.
Your two
The one thing I'll say on
teams
Philly
stars.
is the lineup where they take JJ out, which I did hate until I started. It is so good. Like when they go Ilyasova, Bellinelli, Saric, Simmons, and Embiid.
Yeah.
Like I think they call it their Croatian lineup or something stupid like that. But man, that's good. Like length, 3 shooters. Like it's perfect.
Well, 4. Embiid can knock down a shot sometimes.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's the one knock on Redick is he's obviously not a great defender.
Well, he's 6'2", and he's.
But when you put that lineup in, man, like that's
they're
that's a great lineup.
And that's the thing. I think like that's what we had a big discussion with that a few weeks ago on the pod where we talked about the acquisitions at the deadline of Bellinelli and Ilyasova with Redick. Like those guys make the difference, I think, for that team. And as much as you can talk about Ben Simmons being the next great thing and talk about him and Joel being the iconic duo and the historic thing when you compare them to Penny and Shaq and stuff like that, like that's all fine and fun, but they are nowhere near where they're supposed to be without those vet guys filling out that roster, I don't think.
Yeah, but coming into the playoffs, this was kind of just a dry run, go to the playoffs, get some experience.
Except they won 20 of their last 21.
Yeah, but this wasn't supposed to be the year, which the scary thing is like now everybody has them going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Everyone has them. Do you know how many people have them in the finals, though?
Yeah.
A lot of people have them in the finals.
Is it too much too soon, though? So I guess we'll see.
And that was my thing coming into the playoffs. I just think they're a young team. Young teams usually don't fare well. You look at everyone comparing this team to the OKC team in 2010 with Russ and Harden and KD. They had to lose a series before they went to the finals. They lost to Kobe and the Lakers in 2010, who ended up... 2009, sorry, and ended up winning the championship. Like...
Yeah. It's like
every team goes through trial runs, except for like that Shaq and Penny team in 91 or 80, whatever I want to say.
Way back then.
That's like 30 plus years ago.
The last thing I'll say, I hate to tie everything back to JJ, but it's similar to when he came into the league and he was with the Magic, and they had Dwight, and they were going on this big run, and then they ended up coming up short that year. And I heard JJ say this is like, oh, we're gonna be fine. Everybody's under contract. We'll come back next year.
JJ's not under contract next year.
I know exactly. And that's not his mindset this year. But the thing is, like, the point he was trying to make is you don't know what's gonna happen. Like the future is now, kind of thing, because you just don't know what's gonna happen. Like teams can deteriorate no matter.
And B could go down at any second. Exactly.
And that's why I'm kind of on this thing. Like like everybody's saying this isn't Philly's year, but. Nobody really knows what's going to happen next year. And you make the point about Embiid that like they're injury prone. So, yeah, I don't know. They handled Miami easily, so I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Miami took a game. Dwayne Wade was... I think we do an injustice if we talked about this series without talking about D. Wade. And
he's
how
gone now, hey?
He'll come back for another year, I think.
So?
Well, what if they sign... I think Miami is such a great free agent destination. And, with that team, all you got to do is move Whiteside, move that max money out of there, move Tyler Johnson, who's making $20 million, which I know people are like, oh, just move $20 million. That'll be easy or whatever. But, I don't think it'll be that hard. I think, you said, there's suitors in the league who are looking to take guys like that with draft picks. If you can get rid of Johnson's salary, if you can get rid of Whiteside because he's been a cancer, and bring in a big-name free agent, they were so close to having Gordon Hayward last year.
You're not getting rid of Whiteside, though.
Yes, they are.
You're not going to be able to. They're handcuffed on that.
Okay, so let's say LeBron and Paul George don't sign with the Lakers this offseason.
They're handcuffed with Whiteside.
You're telling me the Lakers won't take Whiteside, or the Brooklyn Nets won't take Whiteside?
There is a lot of incompetent people in the league, but I don't think anybody would take Whiteside. It just doesn't make sense. Why would you want him?
People want DeAndre Jordan.
I like him a lot more than Whiteside.
They're the same player.
I think they're handcuffed with Whiteside. I don't think they're going to be able to.
Pat Riley has been in this league for ever.
Yeah,
he's a dinosaur.
Yeah, I like Pat Riley too. I just don't think he's a smart guy. Move him.
I think.
Let's agree to disagree on that one. We'll see. But he'll be in a Miami Heat jersey till his contract is over.
If they don't get rid of Whiteside or Johnson,
they don't have a piece to entice people to want to get Whiteside because Whiteside's not that piece.
Draft picks.
I don't think that makes.
We've seen that happen. Yeah. Look at Mozgov. Yeah. You don't think someone can move Whiteside? They moved Timofey Mozgov.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody might do it, but I wouldn't do it.
Whiteside was a borderline all-star the last 2 years. Not last year, but the 2 years prior to that. Someone will want him.
Yeah, but Whiteside, you give him the ball in the paint, he can't do anything.
Bro, I'm not saying Whiteside's good. I'm saying they moved Mozgov. They've moved, like, worse players have been moved with worse contracts.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think about anybody wanting him, I guess, is my
I know.
little take on that.
But do you think Brooklyn wanted Mozgov? Do you think...
Probably.
Probably. They probably did.
We got,
I just mean, you can find a suitor.
Yeah.
Anyways, so back to tie that in, I think Dwayne Wade can stick around for one more year, and
I think he's done. I think it'd be a perfect time for him to leave. I don't know. I just kind of think, like, why not? You came back to Miami. You had a decent run in the playoffs. You showed what you can do. But I just don't think him at his best is good, and we saw it. But I just think
this is his
I
first.
think it's a good time to
I disagree.
to hang it up.
This is his first year.
I think he should work in the media.
This is his first year coming into that bench role. He's never come off the bench in his entire career until right now, right?
Yeah.
He looks pretty damn good coming off the bench. I think this second run of Dwayne Wade could elongate his career 2 or 3 more years.
I think the second run of Dwayne Wade started when he was in Chicago.
Nah, I think
If
that
not-
I think
if
that
not
was a
just
lost
prior.
year. I don't know about that. I think Miami has an interesting summer. I would really like to see them be good.
I think the NBA has an interesting summer. It's
well,
gonna be-
always it always is.
I think this year's going to be different, though.
I mean, we talk about these teams. We talk about the Knicks and the Lakers when they're good, the league's better. The Sixers and Boston, looking at them when they're good, the league's better. I think Miami's one of those teams.
Yeah.
And they're just a historic franchise. I think Spo's a great coach. I think the role players that they have on that team right now are perfect if you can bring in a star. I just think now's the time for them to make a move this offseason.
Yeah. We got Boston-Milwaukee.
Boston-Milwaukee, the last series in the East.
That was one of the more entertaining series to watch. Like, I didn't think it was going to be.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was good basketball though. Like it was entertaining, but like watching it, I just seemed frustrated all of the time. Like it just seemed like Milwaukee has just so much untapped potential on that team. I think they're wasting it.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to move.
Jabari can't come back.
They're gonna have to move Jabari, and they might even.
Well,
have
his
to,
contract's
They
up.
might even have to get rid of Middleton.
No, Middleton. No, I disagree. Middleton's a pivotal part of that.
I think you have
team.
to. Yeah, I don't know. Like I wouldn't want to give it Middleton, but I think they may have to. And I also think that you gotta find a coach. Like any coach in their right mind that wants to be a potential coach in the NBA is gonna want to coach Giannis, have the opportunity to coach Giannis.
I would think so.
You gotta run it through Giannis, and you gotta surround him with shooters. That's the only
Middleton's
way.
a great shooter and he plays defense.
Yeah, I
Middleton's
just
the
think
perfect
that-
guy for Giannis.
Yeah, I think they might end up having to move him just because of the way things shake out.
I really
But-
hope not.
Yeah, I don't know, but there's something going. It's a waste. But Antetokounmpo is gonna win an MVP. Like,
And the next, I think Davis wins next. Like this is very crystal ball-ish. I think Davis wins one next year, and Giannis wins one the year after that. Maybe LeBron steals one next year, but those two guys will win 2 of the next 5 MVPs at least.
yeah.
They're Antetokounmpo's a special player, and
Milwaukee's gonna figure it out. 'cause
and he's
not
so
gonna stay
raw.
there. He's not gonna stay there.
that's what I think I said that a few weeks ago. It is a little early to be thinking about Giannis leaving free agency in 2019, but it just feels like they're wasting it with Brogdon being a perfect like either backup point. Bledsoe's got to go. We didn't talk about Bledsoe. Bledsoe needs to go.
Let's not talk about Bledsoe.
He was in that series, like watching him against Boston. He was the perfect guy where like if you're on the other team, you're glad he's on the other team because he's gonna try and play mano-a-mano. He's gonna hook up shots. He's not gonna play defense. He's gonna talk all the smack in the media about who's Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier's the guy kicking your ass every single night.
Terry Rozier, I think we all know who he is.
He's a role player at home though.
He's good.
He scored 6 points on the road that series. But
Boston's got some depth at the backup point guard.
I-
That's the one thing I learned from this series.
Okay, so this might be a little hot take-ish, but
Ooh.
yeah. We look at the Celtics point guards under Brad Stevens. Is it not just a system thing? And I know we're never going to know because Isaiah Thomas, the hip issue, we're never really going to understand fully what he could have been outside of Boston well healthy. But he had, and this isn't exaggerating, he had one of the best offensive seasons for point guard of all time. And like that's not an exaggeration. That's look at the numbers, look at the analytics, look at it whatever you want to look at. Look at they went to the conference finals. He just did. As Brad Stevens as his coach. And Kyrie came in. We all knew Kyrie was a great player, proven already in the league, but came in and stayed that course and improved defensively and improved with distributing the ball in the pick and roll in the system. He goes down. Terry Rozier's in. He looks like an all-star. He's scoring 30. Like, he's doing everything these point guards that Brad Stevens are supposed to do. I think, like, the real thing would be, I don't know, if he gets hurt and Shane Larkin has to play, then...
Shane Larkin had his moments in the series, too.
That's what I mean.
Which was kind of disturbing.
That's why I think...
I think you're right to an extent.
I don't want to call it a system thing, but I think Brad Stevens, as much as we talk about him, is one of the most underrated pieces in the league. I think Brad Stevens is the most important thing to the Celtics. Including Tatum, including Kyrie, including Horford. I think Brad Stevens, if you were Danny Ainge and you had to keep one asset about your entire team, including players, including venue, including whatever you want to talk about, I think Brad Stevens is a guy.
Yeah,
I think he's that good.
I think he's Kyrie on your team.
I think he's that good. I think he's Popovich-esque.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, it could be a system thing. Like, I don't really see any disagreement there, but I think Marcus Smart still has value, and the fact, like, he's gonna be a good piece to get rid of, because they're gonna keep Rozier.
Yeah, Marcus Smart's definitely going to be a player that gets overpaid this offseason and goes and plays in Dallas or goes and plays in Orlando.
He's a tough matchup.
I don't think he'll be inspired playing in a city like that, though.
No, he's not going to want to be third string.
No, I don't know. I just don't see him play, like, I know this is a little, again, we're looking too far ahead in the future a little bit, but with this Boston team, I think it's going to be a lot like the Spurs run, where we watch players leave that system, we watch players leave that team, and you're like, what happened? You look at Johnny Simmons, you look at Patty, like if Patty Mills played somewhere else, if you look at guys like that have left the Spurs and just are like, where'd they go? Thiago Splitter. I think we're going to see that with the Celtics. Here's a fun little tie-in. Aaron Baines left the Spurs, was lost in his career in Detroit and wherever he was in between, revitalized back in Boston. I think Boston and the Spurs draw a lot of similarities, and I just think Brad Stevens is special.
Yeah, that's not a knock on the players like Thiago Splitter and like guys like that though, and Jonathan Simmons, because like you win your championship, whatever. Yeah, go get your $20 million from Orlando.
Oh, I'm not saying that they shouldn't leave the system. Like, I'm not saying I agree.
No,
with you.
I know you're not, but like
go get yours. Go get yours. Yeah, right? You know what I mean? I agree. I agree completely.
You know what I mean? Like, you won your chip. You're 27. Yeah, go get your $20 million in Orlando. Like, who cares? Like,
well, Johnny Simmons, actually, interesting little touch on him.
Wow, never thought the day.
I know. But the Cavs actually, last offseason, before he signed with Orlando, they offered him a contract for $3 to $5 million. It wasn't a big thing, and he said, "I don't want to come play with LeBron. I want to be that guy. I want to play against LeBron." So he went and signed his big contract in Orlando, and I don't know. Maybe you should have signed with the Cavs. I don't know.
No. He made too much money.
It's
not worth it.
Yeah, that's fair. I just mean I think we're going to see a lot of players, and I think Marcus Smart's going to be one of the first guys that we see leave that system and just not be successful. Well, as successful. Obviously, you're going to be in the NBA. You're going to be making a boatload of money.
Yeah, but like, just the eye test. Marcus Smart has no offensive game whatsoever.
He's the worst 3-point shooter.
Yeah, he's just
in the league.
He's just a good defender.
Like the worst, literally.
He makes layups. Whatever. Anyways, we got to get to the West.
We do got to get to the West. Some entertaining series. Some not so entertaining series.
Also, some really shitty series.
Some very bizarre series too.
Yeah. Some series that we thought like would be good, but then just weren't.
Yeah, I think we should talk about that one first.
Yeah.
New Orleans, Portland, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. No, obviously.
Well, I mean, yeah. What happened?
Drew Holiday happened.
We both had Portland moving on. And
playoff Rondo happened.
We couldn't have been more wrong. Playoff Rondo did happen.
Playoff Rondo happened, and
Mirotic showed up.
And
Anthony Davis. And as much as I didn't think Alvin Gentry was much, he had a great scheme going into that. Like
he's coming back next year.
Yeah.
I honestly thought Gentry might be in jeopardy, but once they won that series, he's got to be there the next couple of years.
And handled them.
He's got to
absolutely smashed them.
Yeah. And Dame, with all the hype with Dame coming down the stretch this year, it was awesome. Post All-Star.
It was tough.
And then it was like Dame time. I remember a couple games against the Lakers, he was just lighting up, and it was so exciting. And then this happens, and I'm just like, man, it's just when I was starting to love Dame.
I think Dame's going to get a lot of heat after this series. I don't think much away from him because of this. They did everything they could to make someone else beat them. They blitzed Dame on the pick and roll. They sent two at him. They were constantly bringing it to him. Drew Holiday is one of the best defenders in the league, and after that, the secondary defender is Rajon Rondo, another great defender. Like, they were pounding him. It couldn't have been a worse matchup for him.
Let's not kid ourselves, though. Nobody actually thought Drew Holiday... Like, nobody actually went into that series thinking Drew Holiday was going to do what he did. Like, anybody would be lying if we said that.
Offensively, yeah, but I trust you. I trust Drew
Yeah, but
Holiday defensively.
nobody saw that coming.
Nobody saw
Not a
40
chance in hell.
40 in a closeout game.
Yeah.
No way. Like, no way.
No, nobody saw that coming at all.
I agree, and I don't think Drew Holiday saw that coming. Maybe he did.
No.
It doesn't strike me as
I
a
don't-
type.
no.
But I just mean,
I mean, he had a vision.
yeah, it was just a really tough matchup for Dame. And I'm not the biggest Dame guy. Like, you'd have to talk to River Foster about Dame guys, because he's written a lot of articles about how, he's coming and stuff like that. But I just
River's
mean,
got to get on the pod.
yeah, River Foster will definitely be our first guest on the pod. Well, besides Schmuck's Sunday hot takes and stuff, I guess. But I'm not a huge Dame fan. I think if I was in the front office of Portland, I'd keep CJ. I move Dame. I think CJ gives you more options, but
And
that's
if you move Dame, you get more value.
Yeah,
it's the same kind of deal.
that's a different
It's
discussion.
pretty similar situation to John Wall, Bradley Beal. Like, other than the
Yeah.
it's similar.
Bradley Beal is more of a prototypical star player than CJ McCollum is, just because of the size and the length and the versatility on defense. But I agree with you. Like, they are very. It is a
pretty
similar situation.
Comparable situations.
I think Dame and CJ get along better than Wall and Beal do. And I think Portland's
Yeah.
a better run organization than Washington is.
Yeah, there's no disputing that. Washington is horrible.
But it's
and Terry
similar.
Stotts can actually coach
Yeah.
to an extent.
I mean, Scott Brooks was in the finals, which is weird. But he had KD, Russ, and Harden.
I'd be in the finals too if I had those three.
Yeah, and Ibaka and
Yeah, and Ibaka in his prime.
yeah, Kendrick Perkins, bro.
Kendrick, yeah. You chuck Kendrick Perkins in that? Oh my god.
We got some Kendrick Perkins talking to do, I think, on the next pod too.
Yeah.
But well, different pod for sure.
Anyways, that series, so sweep for New Orleans. Whatever. I kind of just tried to forget about it as soon as it was over because I was like, man, this sucks.
We did forget about it, and I mean, it just.
Yeah.
It was so fast.
You kind of just blinked and it was over, and it was like, man, Rondo's good. Let's move on.
Well, is he though? I bet Golden State exposes him this. Like, I don't think he's that good.
Yeah, they're not going to beat the Warriors, but you got to give Rondo. You got to give Rondo credit when you can. Like, come on, let's not rain on the parade.
Well, I don't know. I've never been a Rondo guy, especially after he said that stuff about Ray Allen. I'm a huge Ray Allen fan.
I'm never a Rondo guy until like April 15th.
Yeah, I think that's a good segue into the Golden State San Antonio series. Maybe probably one of the we talked about maybe boring series or shitty series. You said
It was kind of boring.
and
I did say shitty. I take that back.
Yeah.
That sounds harsh.
also like thoughts and prayers out to Pop and his family. Like, that's tragic.
Yeah, that was a tough situation for sure.
It's too bad. But I mean,
Gentleman sweep.
yeah, and I mean the fact that I talked about Popovich earlier, like Brad Stevens being Popovich-esque. The fact that this team is in the playoffs is ridiculous. Yeah. As much as we like LaMarcus Aldridge here at Two Peas in a Pod, as much as as much as we're big, he's a PTP. As much as we're big Aldridge fans, like, that guy should not be the best player on a playoff team.
Okay, like,
Especially in 2018, bro.
okay, we can be realistic for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not great. But at the same time, God, is he good. Mid-range jimmies.
Like, I think he should be the third best player on a good team. Maybe the second. Maybe. No, this is the third. He's definitely a third option.
Yeah, well, God, I love Aldridge. He's fun. But yeah,
He's not fun.
You're
He's
100% right.
Slow and unathletic, and he shoots mid-range followays, and
It's kind of fun.
it's kind of fun. Yeah, I just mean props to Popovich and the Spurs for even getting it to where that shouldn't have been close. Or no, the series was close, but they gave him fits and they won a game. Manu showed up. Love Manu. You want to talk about a fun player? Like, that was fun. That guy's awesome. Yeah. I think DeJounte Murray's gonna have a long, illustrious career in this league. Like, he is.
Fuck, illustrious. That's big.
He's a good player. He's a really good player.
Yeah.
And I think
he's got potential. I don't know if he's gonna have an illustrious career, but I hope.
I think he's gonna be. I think he is.
Okay, here's my kind of hot take-ish comment.
Okay.
You think Popovich is done?
No.
I'm kind of just on this train where I just kind of think everybody that could possibly be done is done. I think D-Wade is done, and I think this would be an appropriate time for Popovich to step away. I'm not going to speak for him, but I just think I wouldn't be surprised, and I think it makes sense if he did walk away.
My thing with that is like because of the passing of his wife and things like that. I think he's gonna turn to basketball in a sense. I think he's gonna use the Spurs family to support him. I think he's gonna want that everyday routine back in his life.
That makes sense.
And as much as like I think a lot of people try and draw parallels between Belichick and Brady, and Belichick trying to prove because of his ego they think he's going to stick around longer than Brady because he wants to win without Brady. Like that's his.
Just so the listeners know, we were talking about NFL football.
Yeah, right that's it. Well, I mean, it's draft season, whatever. It's a bit in the media.
Baker.
But yeah, exactly. But I don't think Popovich has that ego to want to win without him, to want to win without Kawhi. I think he's genuinely there for the players, and he did a lot of interviews this year where they asked him like. They asked him about and during the playoffs actually about not coming back maybe and if the job's still enjoyable, and he said something along the lines of I get to sit courtside to the best game in the world. I get to eat my meals on the plane for free. I get free plane rides all across the country. I get to live this wonderful life people want to live.
Yeah. And
I get paid to do it. I mean, yeah, it's enjoyable, and I think he appreciates it more than almost anybody in the world does. That's why I just think he's going to stick around for a few more years. And if Parker and Ginobili come back,
that's the point I was just going to make.
Don't you have to stick it out with those guys? Like those are kind of your guys after Tim, right?
That's the contingency. You hit on it right there. If Parker and Ginobili come back, then yeah, he probably will. But if they don't, but I think I think for Ginobili and Parker, it's the same way. If he comes back, they're going to come back. It's going to be like kind of just
they'll just turn 80 years old together, except they already are.
Contingency kind of. Yeah, I don't know. Warriors look good.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Without Steph,
they did what they did.
Cool. They lost the game.
Nick Young played like 30 minutes a game.
They looked uninspired, which, I mean, could you blame them?
It was boring to watch.
Yeah.
JaVale McGee is not fun to look at on a basketball court.
Yeah, he's kind of funny looking, though. Like, he's just, like, maybe he is fun to look at, not to watch him play basketball, though.
Yeah. And, like, here's my one thing on the Warriors. Every time I watch a Warriors game and I see it's tied, like, 52 at half, I'm like, oh.
It seems like the other team's losing, you know?
Yeah, that too. Yeah. But it also seems like, oh, man, the other team had to be up 50 for it to be a game.
That's what I mean.
Because, like, 52-52 or the Warriors blew them out.
Yeah,
like,
the third quarter.
That's how I feel.
The third quarter is just like, oh, it's done. Like, as soon as...
Like, as soon as I see it's tied at half, I'm like, oh, the Warriors got this by 25.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it just...
And I mean, sorry if any... Two Peas in a Pod fans or Warriors fans, but I mean, like, they're gonna win the championship this year.
Yeah.
Like, sorry if that's not exciting to us, but like,
I'm not a Warriors hater. I like the Warriors. I just don't like Kevin Durant. Yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah, I'm really not a fan of Kevin Durant.
I love watching Steph Curry play.
He's special.
So fun to play.
Special.
Watch.
Like a special player.
And when Clay gets going, like when he gets hot on runs,
he bothers me. I'd like to see him try and run his own team. I'd just like to see him in LA, in a Dallas, in a place like that. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, the Warriors are the Warriors. Steph Curry's.
The Warriors are who we thought they were.
The Warriors are who we thought they were. If you want to crown their ass, crown their ass. Yeah.
Playoffs.
They won game 2 last night. Steph came back, did Steph things. Clay did Clay things. I mean, everyone wants to talk about Houston. I guess this is a good transition into the Houston series, but I don't think Houston stands a chance. I guess Golden State 6 maybe.
Would that series go the first round? 4-1?
5 again, yeah. 5. Another gentleman's sweep. And then, but the thing is, they had kind of issues with. They had some troubles with Minnesota actually.
Did they though?
Game 1, they should have lost. Chris Paul turned the ball over with 12 seconds left.
Yeah, he's been turning over like crazy. They haven't played a good game all playoffs yet, though.
Except for game 1 against Utah. They kind of...
Yeah.
I mean, that's my thing with the Houston, and I've said it all year, is... I know I don't want to be that old man who's just like, oh, they haven't shown me nothing. But they haven't. Like, okay, the regular season's the regular season, but I mean, that collection of players... has not done anything that for me to be like, oh, I trust these guys heading down the stretch.
Yeah.
D'Antoni, Harden, Chris Paul. All 3 of them are, like, known for that. Yeah, known for not making it there.
The thing is, though, like, when Houston has Capella, Chris Paul, and Harden in the lineup, they've lost, like, 3 games.
4, yeah. 3, I think.
4 now.
4 with the...
Yeah.
Yeah, and I, like, that's fine. Like, we watched... In my lifetime, I've seen a 73-win regular season team lose 4 out of 7 games.
Yeah.
It's not like the regular season to me is
Pressure's not on Houston though.
I think it's going to be once, and not after, like, I mean, Utah without Rubio is just, it's as much as weird
Did
as
you just say Utah without Rubio?
This is what I was going to say. As weird as it is to say, like, without.
Oh my god, Kellen would be so happy.
You can't tell me they're like a different team without Rubio. Like, it's as much as it's weird to say as like I was going to say, Rubio is a difference maker on that team.
Oh my god, I never thought I'd hear the day Dylan said that.
Is it not true? They're a drastically different team with him handling the ball.
There's gonna be a tweet on Two Peas in a Pod direct quoting Dylan Foster.
The Utah Jazz are a drastically different team without Ricky Rubio.
So would you say they're substantially better with Ricky Rubio?
Yeah, they're better with Ricky Rubio.
Wow.
You can quote that. You can take that to the bank.
They're substantially better.
They are.
Substantially.
Yeah, substantially is a good enough word.
Okay,
they
good.
are substantially
Good.
better with Ricky
That's awesome.
Rubio.
Don't make go viral.
Yeah, Don. Okay,
Yeah.
Before we get into that series, let's talk about a little bit Minnesota. They were exactly the same. Like, we want to talk about regular season not being any indicator of what they are. They looked exactly the same as they looked all season.
Yeah, tired, little used up. Except Towns wasn't very good. Butler's obviously hurt. You pointed that out a couple week or so ago.
Butler didn't look.
He didn't look good. Wiggins is really bad and overpaid.
See, let's talk about that for a second, because my issue with that is, like, what is the, like, they gave him the extension at the beginning of this offseason. This was his last year of his rookie deal, right? He was still making, I think it's $7 million in the last year of the rookie deal this year.
Yeah.
And then they just signed him to a max. Why would you do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense, especially knowing what we know now, where, like, let him play the year out. Let him play for a contract. If he played how he played this year, he wouldn't get that contract. And worst comes to worst, the thing is, with rookie deals, you're a restricted free agent at the end of the deal. So you watch him play, and then you say, okay, we're not going to offer him a max contract because he's obviously not worth that.
Yeah.
But then, let's say Dallas throws, no, not Dallas because they did it with Harrison Barnes, but Orlando throws a max at him. If you really need him, you can match it. You can match that deal, right?
Yeah.
Instead, you just sign him to a max, hoping he's going to turn into the player you want him to turn into, and he's got guaranteed $120 million now.
Yeah. It's just a really rough situation.
I just don't understand
the rationale.
And yeah, you want to talk about Tibbs, who shouldn't be in the front office or coaching, depending on what you think.
I don't like Tom Thibodeau.
No,
Not one bit.
He burned him. He burned him out.
And, like, just not even from a basketball perspective, like,
I think
at least
I don't know.
smile.
I'd kind of like him as my coach. I think.
Just smile.
I think. Well, maybe not from. If I was a bench player who got to play 5 minutes a game, if that, I think I'd like him as my coach. The relentlessness that guy has on refs is hilarious to watch.
Yeah, it's hilarious to watch. He's so frustrated on the team.
I actually went to a Minnesota game this year, and I just kind of watched. It was against Utah when Utah blew them out by like 30. I was cheering for Utah. I was probably the only one in the Target Center doing that, but it was fun. But I keyed in on Tibbs late in the game, and they're down by 20, and he's still screaming at refs until he's red in the face. Like,
just because it almost seems pointless, right?
82 games out of the year, 48 minutes a night, Tibbs is screaming at refs.
You gotta build your reputation.
It's hilarious.
You gotta build your reputation. You're gonna see that ref down the road.
How long has he been in the league? How long has he been a head coach?
Too long.
10 years, I think? He's been yelling at refs from the minute he became a head coach.
Yeah.
It's funny. I urge you listeners, next time you're watching maybe not a Minnesota game, depending on what happens this offseason. Next time you watch Tom Thibodeau coach.
If you watch Tom Thibodeau.
just watch him.
Yeah.
He will be losing his mind constantly.
It might have to be a YouTube clip from this year.
Yeah, Jack doesn't think you should get a job.
Okay, anyways, it's about time we transition into our last series. And probably the one that just had us all shaking our heads.
I think it has the most implications going into this offseason than any of the other series. Maybe besides the Cleveland-Indiana one.
Yeah. That's
OKC Utah.
yeah.
6 games.
That was bad. It was like there's nothing else to say. It was just bad from OKC's perspective. Utah, Donovan Mitchell is so silky. Like, oh my
I've been
gosh.
saying that.
He's ridiculous.
I've been saying that.
Rubio,
Was great. Rick Rubio. I call him Rick because he's a man with a beard.
Rick Rubio was great
Rick Rubio was great.
with a capital G. Great.
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 Rudy Gobert played really good too. Jay Crowder was hitting shots. Joe Ingles. Jingles.
Yeah.
He played better than Paul George.
Joe Ingles is really...
He played better than Paul George.
He's fun. He's actually really fun. You know what's interesting? I wanted to touch on the
Joe
Cleveland...
Ingles is probably the least fun player in the league, by the way.
I like watching it. No, for me, but I'm kind of messed up like that. But, like, you know what the whole trade went, like, the three-way trade with Cleveland, and it was, like, Hood and Clarkson, all those guys, and Crowder was part of that deal?
Yeah, it was pretty much
Dude, Crowder's the best player, like, other than... Well,
George Hill. They got George Hill. It wasn't
Dude, Jay Crowder might be the best player of that whole deal.
not in Cleveland. He wasn't.
Yeah, but now, like, he looks like
it's
the best player to that deal.
Utah's a really good situation for him, and
I
I
think
said
it's
that.
hilarious.
And I said that when he got traded. I think George Hill's better than him.
I don't. I
Hey,
honestly don't.
Bro,
George Hill in his prime, yeah,
Bro,
but not now.
Iman Shumpert was in that trade, all right?
I don't know. That was just a that was just a point I wanted to bring up. But yeah, back to that series.
Yeah,
Crowder was good.
Played good, knocked down his shots, played good defense when he had to.
So yeah, credit Utah.
Do you know who was extra bad? Yeah, okay, let's finish talking about Utah first.
Quinn Snyder, hell of a coaching job.
Dude, I love Quinn Snyder. Yeah. Oh my god, he's great.
He's one of the next best things to Brad Stevens.
And Donovan Mitchell is, you want to talk about illustrious careers? That guy is on the fast track to
Dylan's
whatever
just
he
handing out
wants.
illustrious careers here, left, right, and center.
Twice. Depending on what you want from illustrious, Donovan Mitchell's going to have whatever adjective you want to use to describe his career, he's going to meet that because that guy is awesome already.
Yeah. No, I'm not disagreeing there.
Yeah, illustrious might have been too big of a word for DeJounte Murray, but I think DeJounte Murray's going to be really good. Okay?
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Okay.
I think that's why I brought it up. I think it was awesome.
So yeah, props to Utah. Their system is awesome. That slow it down, grind it out pace. I talked about loving it so much. I saw them play this year. So much fun.
All that fun stuff. But now
let's talk about who was so bad.
I have a legitimate question,
Okay.
like just from like an emotional standpoint.
Okay.
Like, did it make you feel just better that you didn't have to see OKC play?
No.
Like, when they
It
were
made
down,
me sad.
when they were down 3-1, right?
3-1,
They were down
yeah.
3-1. I was
Yeah.
kind of like, one more game, and we just can move on and
No.
not focus on this. Like,
No.
I felt
I
so
love
much
Russ,
better
man.
when it was done.
Man, I love Russ.
I like Russ, too.
Russ is probably my second favorite player.
You can't
in
shoot
the league.
43 shots.
Yeah, you can.
It doesn't
And he
work.
won.
Doesn't yeah?
He won.
One game.
No, that game was a masterpiece.
Okay, no, that
they
game
were
was
down
ridiculous.
25, and Russ was like, "You guys are playing like garbage. Let me do me," and
Yeah.
he won. Oh my god,
Yeah.
it was biblical. It was amazing, and the fact that they lost a series that's going to be lost forever in NBA history, but it shouldn't be. That game from Russ was amazing on every aspect of it.
Yeah.
Let's just get that out of the way because for all the Russ haters, like it was actually
He
hilarious.
pulls too hard sometimes, though.
What do you mean?
Like sometimes, like when things aren't going well, it just seems like he just.
That's what you get. That's what Russ is. You got to take that 10% bad with that 90% good. Bill Simmons has this 90-10 theory about guys like that, or the 90-10 guys who they're going to give you 90% awesome, but you're going to have to take this 10%. Like LeBron to him might be a 90-10 guy because of everything he does, but the chaos he brings to the organization with him, that would be his 10.
And losing Kyrie.
That's the same thing. And then with Russ's 90, it's just a fire. There's no one in the league that wants to play basketball more than he does.
Yeah, but
There's just not.
I think that leads to his own destruction.
Well, that's the 10. That's the 10 you got to take with it.
That's more than 10 for me.
Nah. And
I like Russ. I like Russ.
One more
Don't get
thing.
me wrong.
All these people out there saying that like, oh, you should be ashamed if you voted for Russ for MVP over Harden last year.
Yeah, that's
shut
stupid.
up.
That's stupid.
Shut up.
That's stupid. I agree.
In 100 years, when you look back at the history of basketball and you're like, man, this guy averaged a triple-double twice in a row. I don't care if rebound chase, stat chasing, stuff like that. That's what basketball is.
Yeah.
You want more rebounds than everybody. You want more assists than everybody. You want more points than everybody. If you score more points, you win the game.
Yeah. You play to win
you
the
play
game.
to win the game. Exactly. Russell Westbrook chasing, like, if it was easy, like if Ben Simmons could do it, he'd do it.
I think he can.
If LeBron James could do it, he tried to do it and he would do it. No one can do it except for Russ. And I think that sets him in a league of his own. When people talk about Like, Harden chases fouls constantly. That's his game, I think. A wicked step back jumper, and he chases fouls. That's all I got for
Yeah,
him.
but don't take I wouldn't take that away from James Harden if you're.
I wouldn't either. But to say that he is head and shoulders above Russell Westbrook is a false narrative in my mind.
Yeah, I think here's the thing. LeBron, everybody's like mesmerized by LeBron, right? First few years, like when LeBron
Because he's better than everybody.
yeah,
by
exactly.
a lot.
And then that got old. Russ, and now every game we see a triple double from Russ, and it's kind of like, oh, whatever. So what's the next best thing? Like, we're just
Harden hooking guys 50 feet from the
Yeah,
basket
but-
and pretending he's trying to shoot a basket.
I'm not saying Harden's the end all be all because there's gonna be someone after him, but it's just
it was
cycle.
Steph.
It's a cycle.
It was Steph, right?
Yeah, it's a cycle.
And then bringing KD in.
yeah, it was LeBron,
slows that
Steph,
down.
Russ, Harden. That's what. Yeah, and then Davis next year, right? Like, it's just that's the way it is.
Yeah, except LeBron's constantly been the best player in the league for 15 years.
Yeah, but people get tired of the same old story. Is kind of
I
my
know,
point.
but that's the thing that we're going to take away from it is like, oh, well, LeBron's won an MVP since whatever. Well, he probably should have won it. Like, he should probably have 8 MVPs.
Yeah.
But I mean, anyways, to say that Russell Westbrook shouldn't have that MVP and shouldn't be in the talks this year, I think is ridiculous. It's like, oh, well, he shoots a bad percentage from 3. It's like, Mr. Analytics, if you go back and look at their numbers from Harden's runner-up MVP last year, Harden shot 0.1% better from 3 than Russ did.
Yeah.
0.1%. Isn't Harden supposed to be this ultimate 3-point shooter?
Yeah.
They shot the same percentage.
Okay, we kind of got into the MVP talk, but I want to hear your theory on the whole Carmelo.
Okay, so I just wanted to get out of the way that Russ is still awesome.
Yeah, I hear you.
Melo, on the other hand, I don't want to see him play basketball ever again. Not to sound too harsh, but I am so done with everything.
I think that's a little hard.
No, it's not. I thought I would have said it was harsh too until the exit interview when he says the fact that they want me to come off the bench is laughable. I'm not coming off the bench. I'm not playing the 3 next year. That's disturbing to me. Yeah. To be so far in your own mind that you don't think you're not a bench player is whack.
I think Carmelo, I just don't think it's the right fit. I don't think, no, Melo's bad, and he was bad this year, but I think there's still something there. There has to be.
Not in OKC, there's not.
That's what I said.
Not on a winning team, there's not.
Billy Donovan's got to go, I think. And
I don't know.
I think if Melo changes scenery, I think he needs to go back to New York.
Yeah, but if you're Melo, you make a 28.
Oh yeah, he's going to stay there, no doubt.
So here's the thing I say with if I'm here was the teaser that I let on early in the show with that is if you're the front office in OKC, you go to Melo and his agent and you say, next year you're coming off the bench all year.
Yeah.
You're not getting a start.
To try to entice him.
You're not getting a start. You're gonna play 12 minutes a game. I don't care how much we're paying you. You're gonna play 12 minutes a game, and you're only playing 4.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to play the 3. And then if Melo still accepts his player option, then you go to him with those exact what do you want to call them, parameters, and you say,
big word.
not really, and you go to him and you say, these are still in place, but let's reach a buyout option. I'll pay half your salary right now to not play for the OKC Thunder.
Yeah.
You got to take that, doesn't he?
Yeah, maybe. I don't.
I'll pay you $14 million right now to not play basketball on my team this year.
I think that's a little far fetched, but
why is that far fetched?
I definitely see where you're coming from, but I just think it is. Like, I think you get rid of Billy Donovan. I think you just got to get a different coach in there. And
I think Melo's more of a problem than Billy Donovan is.
Yeah, but coaching's it's an easier, quicker-ish fix and like more affordable.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think the thing is with Russ is that like people talk about Billy Donovan not instilling any offense, but some people think that's Russ's fault because he just plays at 100 miles an hour.
Nobody can play for us.
If you think that's the issue, you got to bring in a coach who's just going to bear down, who's going to find in Russ what makes Russ.
Is Russ coachable?
And that's the thing. I think you need someone who wasn't coaching college kids before to come in and try and do this job.
Like who? Like, you have a name? Who do you think?
I'm thinking probably an older veteran coach.
Like Doc Rivers?
No. Not like Doc Rivers.
But that's the thing, though.
Doc Rivers
what are the options? What are the options?
Coach.
Like, I don't mean to put you on the spot like that.
I think Bud in Atlanta is a little interesting. I've never been a big fan of him, but I think the fact that he's had winning teams that have had a team culture.
That's interesting.
I think would be a I think Bud would be all right, but I want someone who's not known for being a hard ass necessarily, but someone who has experience, who's won before, who knows what it takes to win, and who can go to Russ and look at him in the face, sit down, have a meeting with him, and talk about where the team needs to go, and like be straight with him, because there's no way. Like, Russ is a reasonable guy. Like, the media makes him out to be kind of this hard, jagged, not easy to talk to. But if you talk to guys like Royce White is a guy that he's a beat reporter in OKC. He's been with Russ since early Russ days with Kevin Durant and stuff. And he always talks about how Russ just likes if you're to the point with him. Don't beat around any bushes. Tell him what it is you want from him. Tell him what's up. And I think I'd love to see someone just sit down in a room with him and tell him what the goals are for this OKC team and what they need him to do. Don't tell him he can't go get his triple doubles. Don't tell him he needs to slow down. Channel that crazy, aggressive, 110% pure go all the time and put it somewhere, rather than just like letting it run wild. And I think that's what it was last year. It got him his MVP, and this year they took all this talent. They're like, "Okay, go figure it out."
I think Bud is interesting.
I don't think Bud's the guy, but someone like that.
So here's my thing. What if they brought Scotty Brooks back?
No, he's not a good coach.
The farthest Russ ever went was with Scott Brooks.
And Kevin Durant and Serge Ibaka and Kendrick Perkins. We just talked about this.
Yeah, but they have
half an hour ago.
Paul George, Steven Adams,
Paul
Carmelo,
George is
Jeremy
gone.
Grant.
Let's talk about that right now too.
Paul George is gone. Yeah.
Did you just compare Steve Adams, Jeremy Grant, and Paul George to KD, Ibaka, Russ, and Harden in their prime?
Harden
not in their prime,
Harden wasn't
but
that good back then.
But I mean,
and Russ wasn't in his prime back then either. KD was. Russ is in his prime right now.
It's not close. The 2012 Oklahoma City Thunder and the 2018 Oklahoma City Thunder?
Yeah, no, on paper though. On paper they match up better. Yeah, obviously the 2012 would kill them. I'm just saying, on paper it doesn't seem as crazy as you might think.
It's pretty crazy.
No, but if you had the chance to unwatch this OKC Thunder season, which I'm sure a lot of people want the ability to do.
They were supposed to come in second. That was everyone's thing.
They were like, matchup wise, they were supposed to challenge the Warriors more than Houston was.
Yeah, Melo's still washed though.
Yeah, and at the start of the season, you would have told me you had Melo, PG, Russ, and Steven Adams right now, and compare that to KD, Russ, Harden back when Russ and Harden were younger and KD was in his prime.
Don't forget Ibaka.
And Ibaka. On paper, that you're kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's not on paper. It's just not.
Russ now is better than Russ back then.
Okay. Kevin Durant back then is better than Paul George. Ibaka and Steven Adams are pretty much comparable. And Harden...
Melo's better. Melo is on paper is better than Harden back then.
What?
Back then, yeah.
No!
Dude, Harden wasn't that good back then. He was okay.
Harden won Sixth Man of the Year, I think, that year.
I don't know if he was, but the Harden, Melo that people thought they knew is better than Harden that year.
No, Melo's been a bum for a long time.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm saying if we could unwatch this season.
That's completely irrelevant to everything.
He was good in New York.
Okay.
He was an ISO scorer.
Whatever you want to... even if you want to compare those two teams, that does not mean you should bring Scott Brooks from Washington back to OKC. That's one of the dumbest things you've said all day.
That can channel what Russ did?
No.
He had to do that to some extent.
No.
Hey.
No.
I don't want to hear it. Nobody's gone farther. Nobody's gone farther with Russ than Scott Brooks.
That's a stupid... That's so dumb.
Stop. Who's they going to hire? Not Bud.
Okay. I guarantee Bud before Scott Brooks.
Melo's going to be there next year. They're going to need a new coach.
I just told you how to get out of Melo.
They're not going to do that.
Sam Presti's a smart guy. I think he'll figure it out.
All right, we'll see. I don't think so.
Anyways, why? Melo, I don't think I'm so sick of him. I'm so sick of him.
I know you're sick of him, and I am too, but I just don't think that's going to happen.
We both had OKC moving on. We were both wrong. Utah handled them.
Yeah.
Russ played good.
Yeah,
Melo's a bum.
It's good for sure.
Paul George played like anus.
The NBA playoffs thus far have been pretty good.
Joe Ingles outplayed Paul George that series.
Yeah.
That's kind of messed up.
Yeah. Paul George just looked uninterested in Game 7.
If you're Philly, do you want Paul George?
No.
Oh, I disagree.
I don't.
If you could trade Paul George for Robert Covington tomorrow, you're telling me you wouldn't do that?
Yeah. Of course I would do that.
Well, then what the heck's what's the problem then?
I wouldn't make Paul George... You're not going to trade Robert Covington for Paul George.
I know, you're going to sign Paul George this offseason and get rid of Robert Covington. It's the same thing.
You asked me if I could trade tomorrow. I wouldn't
know.
trade because that wouldn't be the way the trade went.
What?
If you would have said sign...
That's what it is, though.
Yeah. Well, then, yeah. But I don't think Paul George is the answer there. I don't even know if... Is Paul George good?
Yes.
Is he?
He's not as good as he was before his injury, but he's good.
Yeah.
I think he's great. I like him a lot.
I
think Jimmy Butler's better.
I really don't know how good Paul George is, if I'm being honest, since his injury.
Jimmy Butler would be a perfect fit in Philadelphia, I think.
Yeah, but what team is Jimmy Butler bad for?
Oh, I'm not saying I like Jimmy Butler better than I like Paul George.
Yeah.
A lot better.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to disagree there. I just mean, yeah.
No, but I mean, is that not a possibility this offseason?
Yeah, it is. I've heard that.
With those guys and their rookie contracts and everything. I think Robert Covington's a guy that Philly fans probably like him a lot. I think he shoots a lot of threes, and I don't trust him late in games kind of thing. He just kind of seems like that guy that wants the moment and maybe shouldn't want the moment as much as he does.
If I'm Philly, though, I'm not taking any home run swings. Like, I'll roll with Covington.
That's what I asked. I asked if you'd sign Paul George.
Yeah, I probably would, but I wouldn't go out of my way, though. Like, I wouldn't make it, like, my number one objective, because I think they're going to be fine either way.
$30 million a year for 3 years, Paul George.
Yeah, I'd probably do it.
Well then, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
I don't understand the whole Lakers narrative with him either, though. Like, I get it.
know.
He's from
Hometown,
LA. People
whatever,
said, like, 2 years ago that he wanted to play there and stuff. I'm just saying, like, I might be hedging a bet kind of thing here by saying, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not in LA.
Yeah, I think he's going to LA. Like, I'm 80% sure he's going to LA.
Yeah, but, like, why, though? Because that's what they said,
It just
right?
seems right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
think Paul George is as good as people think, but yeah.
If he goes to LA, he's pretty much saying he doesn't really care about winning. Like I think the Lakers could challenge for a playoff spot next year, like, depending on the moves they make this offseason.
Do you think they could challenge regardless? Even if the roster was the same, do you think they could challenge? Lonzo with a year under his belt, Ingram?
I think so. I think if they, like, added like a few vets that aren't Brook Lopez, like certain guys in the market, like, I mean, don't think like you're talking about home run swings. I don't think they need to add a superstar to be viable in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
No, not viable in the playoffs, but make the playoffs.
That's what I mean. Viable to make the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I agree with that.
So all in all, the first round was kind of gave us everything we wanted, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It was fun to watch for sure. Some surprises.
People talk about how the first round doesn't really mean anything, and I think a funny thing I heard about, I think Nick Wright said it a few days ago, where basketball fans have this weird narrative that the first round is supposed to be easy for teams, and it's just like the favorites all win and you move on, right? Because of the way Golden State's been doing it, and because of what Cleveland did last year when they went 12-1 going into the finals, and Golden State was 12-0. I think we have this narrative that it's just supposed to be a cakewalk.
Yeah.
And I think this year kind of showed that it's not really. And it was for Golden State and Houston because they are still those super teams. But for everyone else, it was a fun first round.